I'm sorry, sir. There's no smoking here. Coffee?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't make the rules here.
Buy paper, mister?
Sure.
Да, я слушаю.
Mr. Smith, please? Yes, I'm looking for Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith.
Я слушаю вас. Говорите громче. Здесь нет никакого Смита.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, this is Chaplin. I need an address check for a phone number. 551-2930. Thanks.
Кто вы такой? Что вы здесь делаете? Как вы попали сюда? Я не понимаю, что вы делаете в моем здании? Что происходит? Я никого не вызывала, у меня здесь все в порядке. Пожарный... Вы что, из пожарной станции, что ли? Что происходит? Дочка?
Who is it, Mama?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Что вы здесь делаете? Объясните, пожалуйста, что происходит?
understand.
Well, what do you want?
I'm here to see the room.
Oh, for Christ's sake, why didn't you say so?
Come on. It's first, last, and 1/2 security deposit.
Yeah, so where's the rest of the place?
Well, if you don't like it.
Smith? I'm here about the classifieds, Smith.
There, in the trunk, by the door. Come My collection contains train tickets and bus transfers from all over the world. Some of them quite old.
The last one is printed in... Is it Greek?
The characters are Cyrillic. The language is Russian. I hope you won't be disappointed when you find out the price of my collection. I'm reluctant to sell it. The sentimental value is immeasurable. Unfortunately, I'm in need of money to sustain this meager existence of mine.
Money's no object to my client. And he's not sentimental either.
Oh, I assumed it was for you.
Personally, I think hobbies are a big waste of time. I must admit, though, yours is one of the strangest I've ever heard of. Are there others like you?
Oh, there's a few, I suppose.
Ever hear of a guy named Lully?
I've heard of him, yes.
The client's interested in one thing in particular.
I can't be induced to sell it in pieces. It is, in a sense, a single document, an unbroken history. That is its appeal.
The last ticket. It was never used.
There was a sudden change in my itinerary, mister. Come. Step into the light. Yes. You'll do just fine.
I don't know what you mean.
Have a seat. Don't worry about the landlady. She won't be back for hours. It was careless of me to think such a trifle would go unnoticed. Well, in a sense, the agency got what it wanted.
What they wanted was a corpse.
Look around you. This is my tomb. Have you come to exhume my remains?
You've become a liability at this point.
Did they tell you I endeavored to resign?
Listen, I'm not here to interrogate you.
Of course not. Of course not. My assassin was much too impatient. He screwed up the job miserably. He should have chosen a more secluded spot. The shots caused quite a riot. Half dead, I was found by villagers. They took me to a house. They laid me down. 2 wooden planks for a bed. They dressed my wounds. They covered me with a coarse woolen blanket. What they ate, I ate. In time, I was able to sit up and with some effort move about the room. When I was unconscious, they could have stolen from me. They asked for nothing. I gave them what I had. In Baku, I obtained false papers. By steamer, I arrived in Greece. Within a month, I was back on American soil. The rest is uneventful. Any stories you may have heard otherwise are pure invention and not to be believed. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known.
A quote?
Once spoken, everything becomes a quote. For now we see through the glass darkly, but then, face to face.
The Bible?
I was blind, deaf, addle-brained, and absent-minded. What you might call innately human. Afterwards, they told me I'd been unconscious for 3 days. When I awoke, the world was intolerably bright. Infirmity was a small price to pay. Do you know Simonides, the inventor of mnemonics? Pliny speaks of him in his Naturalis Historia, and other cases of prodigious memory. Cyrus, the king of the Persians, could call all the soldiers in his armies by name. Mithridates Eupator administered the law in the 22 languages of his empire. Metrodorus practiced faithfully repeating what he had heard only once.
It's our business to remember.
A circle drawn on a blackboard, a right triangle, a lozenge. All of these are forms which can be intuitively grasped. You, at a glance, can perceive 3 glasses on a table. I perceive all the leaves and tendrils and fruit that make up a grapevine. I know by heart the forms of the southern clouds at dawn on the 30th of April. I can do the same with the many faces of a dead man at a long wake, with the changing fire, its innumerable ashes. The philosopher Locke, in the 17th century, postulated and then rejected
an impossible language in which each individual thing, each stone, each bird, each branch, each word would have its own name. I once considered an analogous language and then discarded it because it seemed too general, too ambiguous. I invented a system of numbering that in a very few days had gone past the 24,000 mark. My impetus for such a project was my dissatisfaction with the fact that the 49 Argonauts who accompanied Jason in his quest for the Golden Fleece should require 2 signs and 2 words, in place of which I gave a single sign and a single word. I then applied this system to other numbers. 7,013, for example, became railroad. 7,014 was Blaise Pascal. Other numbers were Glacipew, sulfur, the whale, the rains, the gas, waiting, Napoleon. In place of 500, I used 9. Another of my experiments, I decided to reduce each of the past days to some 70,000 memories, which would in turn be defined by means of ciphers. I was dissuaded from this by 2 considerations: the awareness that the project was interminable, and the awareness that ultimately it was useless. Why, by the hour of my death, I would not have even finished classifying all the memories of my childhood. Swift relates that the Emperor of Lilliput could discern the movement of a minute hand. I continuously discern the tranquil advances of corruption and decay. I note the progress of fatigue and dampness, of death.
How many stars do you see in the sky? Do you sleep?
I imagine myself at the bottom of a river, being rocked and annihilated by the current. It is a vantage from which one tends to forget differences. My mind, sir, is a garbage heap. Ich lieg und besitze. Lass mich schlafen. Ich lieg und besitze. Lass mich schlafen. I lie here possessing. Let me sleep. Let me sleep.